Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. I just wanted to quickly make a little video regarding something I mentioned on Discord earlier on today. So we were having a conversation. I was showing the 6-month chart, which you can see on your screen right now as well. This is the 6-month chart, and you can see the candle. So I've taken all the indicators and everything that I use just to show you plain red and green candles, nothing else. Okay, just simple red and green candles, simple facts on the chart, nothing else, right? So you can see this 6-monthly thing where the current candle where we're at the moment, you can see it's pointing down, and if you notice carefully, it's actually lower low, right? So this is what you have to understand. We're currently sitting at a low. Now when you're looking at bigger time frames and big trends and everything, you have to understand that, okay, what does all of this mean? What is the significance of all of this? What's the worst case scenario that could happen? Well, I'll tell you what the worst case scenario was that we touched 19k, which is the previous bull cycle top, and we went below that. That was the worst case scenario, right? So now that we've had that, well, we've got to look at everything in a complete different perspective. We've got to look at it in a positive way. So I mentioned something about bulls, right? Where a bear would see this as an opportunity to say, okay, look, this is bearish. Well, we might go down even more. Let's short it the market, right? That's what they will be thinking. As a bull, the only thing I'm looking at this is discounts. You know, when I start looking at this, I'm like, wow, I'm getting discounts. This is the biggest discounts that the market could ever give me. So that's what I will be looking at as a bull, right? You don't want to be looking into green candles saying, oh, look, the market now looks positive, or we got a shooting candle shooting, you know, we're going to start moving up again and we're going to do this and that, whatever. No, though, that's when we sell. So don't be confused. I know KR, he mentioned like he's confused, right? Is this a bearish candle? Why should we be bullish? Well, don't be confused. The time to be bullish is now. Okay, the time to be bullish is when the market is bearish. So when everybody's shouting, screaming and crying, and I've mentioned this many times as well, when everybody, right, you know, all the news, all the top YouTubers or influencers or whatever you want to call them, when everybody's talking about a bearish scenario, right, you take it with a pinch of salt and you start being bullish, because that's when the market tends to reverse, right? So all of this you're seeing right now, this particular candle, we're already like just over 2 months in, I believe. If you look carefully, you can see that we've got 3 months and 29 days approximately remaining. That means we've got like, what, close to 4 months remaining to close this candle. Now anything could happen within this candle, by the way. This candle could easily flip bullish in the next 4 months, right? Nothing's stopping us. Next 4 months, what's that, January? So this candle's saying we're going to close in January, right? So I mean, just look at that, just try and soak it in and try and see the bigger picture, see the bigger perspective, right? You want to buy cheap and you want to make money. Well, when do you make that money? Do you make it when the candle's at the top peeking out on the green? No, you buy now. This is the time for bulls to be bullish, right? This is the time for bulls to be bullish, because when we buy, we do two things. One, we buy, we accumulate. We're currently in an accumulation phase, by the way. Also, according to the Fibonacci levels, we're bang inside the Fibonacci, just below the golden ratio, just above the 0876 level. And that's the golden ratio, that's a golden zone, right? So we're in that current zone at the moment. If you look at a lower time frame, you can actually see that. I would recommend, you know, like a 5-day, 3-day, or maybe a 1-day on the Fibonacci's. You can see that, right? So, but I'm not going to go into that right now. All I'm seeing is this is a red candle that is bearish, and that is an indication for all of the bulls to be bullish. All right, that's when you buy, you stack as much as you can. Obviously, this is not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor, but this is how this works, right? You want to be bullish, you be bullish at the bottom of the market. This is the bottom of the market. If somebody, like the other day, someone asked me, what was it? They asked me a question. They said, is the bottom in, or something like this, right? Theoretically, yes. If you look at the candle that we're in right now, to me, this is a bottom. Can it go lower? Absolutely. It can go down a bit more, right? In fact, it could go down as low as this particular 13,000 something, and which is, if you look carefully, I'm actually indicating that it's this this last candle here basically. So yes, we could go down to that particular level, but that's where we should be bouncing. This is exactly where our biggest support range is. Okay, so it's okay, you know, if we did go down to that. What do I see? More opportunities. But right now, what you have to understand, the current candle is the biggest indicator for us, telling us that, guys, this is it. This is the opportunity to buy the dip. This is the one that where you start accumulating, right? So all of the DCA we've done so far, right, was just basically the tip of the iceberg. This is the iceberg, right? This is where you get the maximum amount of gains, because any time now, any minute now, within the next 4 months, obviously, right? So we're talking at a longer time frame. We are going to flip the market, right? Now we could easily close this on a red. It's absolutely fine, because the next one is going to be a green, right? Now I'm saying this with full confidence. I'm not holding anything back. I'm telling you that the next candle is going to be a green. And that, for you to find out, is going to be in January next year. Are you willing to wait that long? If you are, great, by all means, let's go. Let's wait together, right? You know, but I'm not patient. I mean, I am patient, but I'm not that patient. I want to see a green candle in January. No, guess what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to start picking up as much as possible before the green candle, because guess what happens when all the influencers start becoming bullish? Well, it's already too late. You know, everyone's going to shout and scream how bullish they are when the candles are green. Well, is that the right time to do it? I mean, you got followers, you got hundreds of thousands of followers, if not millions of followers. Well, hold on. The right thing for you to do is to tell them in the red candle, this is the time to buy. Okay, maybe you're not sure, but that just proves that you're incompetent, right? If you can't tell people what the market's going to do later, then you're incompetent. Anyways, I'm going to leave that aside. I'm not going to get into that. The other thing I've mentioned before as well, and I'm going to mention it again, and by the way, guys, sorry about the noise. I'm on the motorway, right? The other thing I mentioned as well is Bitcoin was designed to fight against inflation. Bitcoin was designed, you know, for the recession and XYZ, whatever. But remember one fact: all of this design features that it had was done after the previous kind of a recession or previous market failure, the financial market failure that we've had. And we're about to have another one. In fact, we're about to have one of the biggest one in this century. Biggest one in this century. Actually, we can also almost say 2 centuries, because you had 19 something, which is technically another century, and then 2000, that's another century. So we can say in 2 centuries technically, right? This is going to be the biggest one, because they want to do the biggest financial reset. I've mentioned this already, you know, on other videos as well, that this is coming. There's a massive reset coming. I always knew it had something to do with finance and something to do with money, and this is it. This is the opportunity. In fact, what's this guy's name? The guy from World Economic Forum or something, WEF, Klaus Schwab or Klaus, or whatever his name is. He wrote a book, and he's selling it for like 22 quid on Amazon, right? He wrote a book about the opportunity that's been handed down to us because of this pandemic, right? Where now you can actually reset money. And that's what the whole agenda probably was. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to put my tinfoil hat. But the point is that anything could have been happening, and there is a reset coming. Now, when this reset does come, Bitcoin will have to prove itself. This is the one time Bitcoin, we're going to do a gamble. So all this time we were in Bitcoin, there was no gamble. You knew crypto is the future. Crypto is this, but it was based on the previous financial system. The reason I'm saying previous is because the new one has already been activated in some countries, right? And it's coming globally. It's going to come everywhere, because the countries who don't bend down will be made to bend down, right? Because it's going to happen. Trust me, they're going to all want to bend over anyway. So the point is you've got the biggest financial reset coming in right now, and theoretically, if you do take it into account, that is a financial collapse of the current system, and this is what Bitcoin was designed to deal with. This means right now Bitcoin will have to prove itself. You know, what will people do? What happens when you take cash away from people? When everything becomes digital, what happens? And that's what's going to happen now, because now the new cash, right? Let's call it cash, is going to be Bitcoin, right? Think about it this way, because when you take paper money away, when you take other forms of currency away, well, people still want other forms of currency. They just don't want to be stuck with the traditional financial digital currency that you're creating, right? So people want a different means of exchange, and that is going to be the digital gold. That is going to be the Bitcoin, right? There is no ifs and buts about this, right? So sorry guys, I'm just freestyling here. I'm driving and I'm doing this, but that's what it is, right? Of course, I always freestyle anyway. But the point is now is going to be the time where Bitcoin is going to prove itself. So what I'm going to say is, you really have to understand the risk, okay, that you are taking this particular time in history, the risk you are taking, because the reward could be extremely phenomenal, right? The rewards could be beyond your imagination. Imagine you thought Bitcoin was going to do a 5x, a 10x, a 100x from here, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 20 years. So we're talking a couple of decades from now, Bitcoin's going to do 100x. That's what you thought. But if Bitcoin is accepted as the new digital cash, right, or actual cash for people, and people are, as a different form of currency, and people plug their funds into it, my God, I think Bitcoin can do a 10,000x from here, right? Or it could go to the dump, completely flush down the toilet, nothing. So there's one or the other. So the gamble is very big right now, okay? And this is what I've been going on about with a lot of my clients and everything as well. I've been telling them that, guys, whatever funds you put in now, you have to be prepared to lose all of it. This is a gamble. All this time, Bitcoin was not a gamble. Crypto was not a gamble. But Bitcoin itself, right now, is going to be the biggest gamble. Because if it can't prove itself, it's going to fade. It's going to fade. Of course, we've got Ethereum and whatnot, and all sorts of other drama with SEC and whatnot. And I'm going to leave all of that. There's a lot of stuff going on with, like, anonymity and this and that. But look, when you're dealing with Open Ledger, it's always open anyway, right? If we can see what's in your wallet, then of course it's an open source thing, and ultimately it's an open ledger. So yeah. Also, people are talking about, like, proof of work versus proof of stake versus this versus that. Vitalik Buterin, he mentioned something about proof of work being utter failure or whatnot. He's got a valid point, and yes, is it going to be a problem? Maybe. And maybe not, right? So let's put it this way. What Vitalik Buterin, he mentioned the other day, and this is quite important actually, he mentioned how mining, if it becomes too expensive, then people are going to start shutting down their mining. And if the fees don't cover XYZ, I think the fees part was kind of wrong, because currently I don't think people are mining Bitcoin for the fees. I think people are mining Bitcoin because they're going to receive a Bitcoin every 10 minutes, right? That's the reason, because it's to do with the block rewards. Right? How many Bitcoins you get per reward, per block. That's what it is. So I think he's wrong there. But the point is he made, which is good, is that all of these mining equipment and everything, they're getting more expensive. Electricity is getting more expensive. So yes, people will at some stage stop mining, right? And institutions could take over, and then eventually it's not going to be as secure because it's going to be more centralized. And I do believe that that's a valid point. However, with Bitcoin, there is actually not that much of a requirement. I know people think it's all about the equipment. Not entirely. You see, the way the system works is the more people plug their computers on or activate their computers to mine Bitcoin, the more... What the fuck is he doing? Excuse me, sorry guys. So there's an idiot literally about to drive into me. So the more people switch on computers to mine Bitcoin, the more difficult it is, right? So the hash rate goes up, it becomes more and more difficult. However, the less computers on means the easier it becomes to mine, which means you don't need the sophisticated equipment. So this is a part that he failed to mention. Yes, you might need ASIC miners to compete with XYZ, but that's just greed. People are greedy, so they're spending money and they're putting all of that energy into it, right? So yes, there's a bit of a concern there. But if you take greed away, then yes, an average guy with his normal computer could plug it in and he could mine as well. He might not get all the bloody rewards, but he'll get something, right? And if you have less people and less institutions, it's fine. And also don't forget, Bitcoin has an active developer community. So it means that if things get out of hand, they can easily come in and change the algorithm a little bit so it makes it easier, or maybe institution proof as well, right? So one or the other. There's plenty of things out there. So yes, I know there's a lot of FUD and a lot of crap going around, but sometimes people just forget the logic hat, right? So yes, you got to put the logic hat on, and you got to also see that yes, end of the day, there's a valid point that what if institutions end up taking over all the mining? Yes, but what if the developers decide to change the algorithm? Nobody's questioning that. You see what I mean? So there's a lot over there. I mean, it's craziness, right? It's crazy. But what I'm more concerned about is like if Ethereum can be sanctioned and this and that, and then court to court and changed. There's a lot of stuff. So I'm more concerned with Ethereum, because if you notice, currently out of the 20,000 plus coins that we have, majority of them, and I have to be honest with this, majority of them are Ethereum based. So there's a bit of a concern. If Ethereum fails, then everything fails, right? So that's something to be concerned about. But yeah, look, it's going to be for another video, but there's a lot of drama going on. But I wanted you to be aware that, look, there's things going on here. But remember, let's go back to the subject. Sorry, I'm just kind of drifting off because I'm driving, concentrating another way. I'm not even looking at the device while I'm recording. But let's just get back into the subject. So when you see a bearish candle, especially on the top of the market, so let's put it this way, let's simplify things a little bit. So if you stuck with me to the end here, guys, thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, share with one other. You'll find value. But remember, I'm not here to punch out videos every single day. That's not my game. I'm not on YouTube to be famous and make money out of YouTube. That's not my game. So let's put it this way, right? So when you see a bearish candle on the top of a market, you need to be cautious, because that means the market is going to be bleeding out. All right, so this is a short of everything, right? If you see the market showing any indication that it wants to be bearish on the top of the cycle, then you need to be worried. Now, the opposite is true. When you see a bearish candle at the bottom of the market, well, guess what? These are opportunities, right? Because when you're at the bottom of the market, you should expect the market to flip any minute, right? So the bottom of the market is bearish, right? Sorry, bottom of the market, bearish candles are bullish signals, right? Bullish, buy those dips. Those are the ones you buy. Obviously not a dip, but dips are for continuations. But the point is, you buy, right? And when you see, like bullish candles or whatever, it's a different story. Obviously, that means it's a confirmation. So obviously, if we start seeing a green candle somewhere around next year, May, June, yeah, next year, June, great. We've had a bullish month. We're already bullish, but now is the time to be bullish. So yeah, I mean, that's all I wanted to say, guys. I'm sure I confused the life out of everybody here, but that was the purpose. I did say on Discord, I said, look, I'm going to make a video, I'm going to drop something, and I'm going to try and confuse you even more. So I hope you are fully confused. If you aren't, then watch out for the next video. I'll try and confuse you even more. But other than that, guys, like, share, subscribe, and I'm going to catch you on another one very soon. But as I said, look, I'm not here to drop videos every single day. This is not my bread and butter. I do other stuff, and God bless, I'm doing all right. Do you know what I mean? So I am working my balls off at the moment, working very, very hard. Also, I was talking to I think it was Custard today earlier on regarding Paradex's, the NFT collections. Once we have all of the stuff, I'm trying to come up with some crazy idea. I did come up with one idea which is kind of fascinating, and I'm putting it on YouTube so I can remind myself. Actually, I'm thinking of creating a game, an actual NFT game with one of the collections I've got. But I have to see how the NFT goes. If the NFT collection is successful, right? So this is the key. If the NFT drop is successful, then that NFT will be made into a game, because I know exactly what to do to make it into a game. So imagine this, right? You got an NFT and then it becomes a game. That would be freaking awesome. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ideas I am thinking about, so we'll work on them. Other than that, I'm not gonna make this video any longer. Thank you very much for hanging with me. If you did stick to the end, thank you very much. I'll see you again very soon. If not, I'm on Discord anyway, so adios my amigos. Thank you very much. And also, just to show you something, I just want to show you the other time frame, 3 months, and you can see the same story here as well. And if you look at the monthly, here you go, you can see on the monthly as well, look, we're currently lower than the previous low. So if you look carefully, we're actually lower than the previous one. So this particular candle body structure is sitting lower than all the other candles. So remember guys, these are opportunities, right? These are not moments for us to panic and worry. Okay, as I said, it's not financial advice, but that's what I would do. I usually go against the herd. So when everybody's bullish, I try to be a bit bearish. When everybody's bearish, then I know this is the time to be bullish, because these are the times when you get the biggest opportunities. You know, when you got the biggest bullish news out there, it's the time for you to cash out, because any time now, that elastic band, the way they stretch it, it's going to snap, right? And that's what happens, you know, on any bull market. When people become too bullish, right, it snaps. And that's what happened last time. That's what happened last year, May, June, whatever it was, right? That's what happened. This market should have continued to 100, 125, maybe even 150k. That's where we should have gone, right? But it didn't, because it snapped, because the market was oversaturated. The market had too many traders in there, too many leverage trading, too many greedy people, and they were asking to be wiped out. If things were kept to a minimal, then we would have seen, you know, easy 120, 150k. But let's see what happens anyway. So I mean, none of this matters right now. What's gone is gone. So yeah, anyway, look, I'm just going to carry on. So let's just call this quits, and I'll catch you on another one very soon. Adios my amigos.